All right, revisited episode 3. I know we said we were gonna get away from that anime stuff for a while, but it's our show, so there's really no saying this. I don't know this dude. We're gonna have to keep saying this. Don't know this dude. Nothing against him. Much against Jinbei.
He does a podcast with a YouTuber that I like and I'm subscribed to, so I know of him. But other than that, it's like, So I was like, I don't know what this video is gonna be. It might be crap because it sort of fell into my lap. So I'm like, I don't know if it's gonna. So I went to his video description, and
oh, you're gonna read me the description?
Oh,
let's hear it.
In this One Piece Night of the Sea Jinbei character analysis, I discussed the role of Jinbei in the One Piece manga and One Piece anime. Jinbei is a very well-developed character and impactful in the story of One Piece.
Can I pause you real quick?
Are you gonna pause me? You revisited me?
I'm revisiting the description itself. I don't care about the impact you have on a story. That doesn't make you a good character. Like, anybody can influence a story. And if somebody shot Sabo in the head,
that's very impactful.
But it could just be some nameless. Spoilers for the end of The Walking Dead. I don't remember the kid that shot freaking Rick. I don't remember his name, but it's super impactful for the story. Was that character good? No.
It was just an action that a character took.
Wow, it was an impactful action.
Continuing.
Oh!
Jinbei's characters are very complex, and his backstory with the fishmen on Fishman Island is one of the most meaningful in all of One Piece and in the crew. Besides his role as a helmsman in One Piece, he also has great fight power due to his knowledge in fish karate, and is able to support Luffy and others in the crew.
You just said your video in the description. This is why he's more than a character. The things I just said.
Jinbei has been playing a very important role in the story, and he dreams of creating a place between fishmen and humans one day. As a warlord,
that's not his dream. That's not his dream.
He also has interacted with the likes of Whitebeard, Blackbeard, and part of the Marine Fort. Hey, so I thought it might have just been Jinbei's all right. He's sort of important. Like, no. Jinbei, that dude.
Jinbei, not that dude.
Jinbei is big, not that dude.
Well, let's just start it then.
So finally, all the Straw Hats have made it safely to Wano.
Whoa. But,
About time everyone got reunited after all that's happened.
Whoa. Wait.
It just feels really good to have the entire crew back in one spot.
But Brago, what about Jinbei?
Who the hell is Jinbei?
I'm glad you asked. I think it goes without saying that Oda is a great fan of themes and patterns when it...
Oh, he's a theme monster! He's a theme monster! Oh my goodness.
We talked about this when we revisited The Brilliance of Golden Wind. I have never thought about the theme in One Piece. The overall theme. Very recently, Oda has started adding some really weird themes, or some really socially relevant themes, such as slavery and racism and all this. You sure you had the theme of, you could say you had the theme of religion for something like Skypiea, but it's not really a religious theme. It's just some dude that's called God.
It's just something that's happening there.
It's just something that's happening there. And until really Boa, I couldn't really see it. Arlong Park has some racism in it, but I wasn't like, wow, the theme of racism. I understand the theme of racism, but I wasn't just like, you're just mushing it in our face with theme, Oda. So I already disagree that Oda has this thing of themes.
comes to writing his story. No matter if it's the distinct way he builds every single arc, or his affinity for the number 3. Oda clearly likes to bring some...
Why don't you give an example? Don't just show a bunch of arcs.
And on top of that, what does that have to do with themes? What does that have to do with Oda, having this theme thing that he likes to do these things? I don't understand.
elements of structure into his enormous world building. The example
good art.
that you might be most familiar with, though, is the distinct pattern based on which he has been building the Straw Hat crew. Every Straw Hat has a tragic backstory that has left them emotionally struggling. Every Straw Hat has a dream that they can pursue by joining Luffy. But most importantly, every Straw Hat has stuck with Luffy and dedicated his life to him ever since meeting him. And that is where Jinbei comes into play. Because not only has he been the only new crew member to join after the time skip, but he also hasn't traveled with the crew even a single time. How is that? Why is
Good.
Jinbei's arc so very different from the other Straw Hats, even though he fulfills pretty much all of the criteria that constitute a true Straw Hat?
Can I pause this real quick? What first off, what's a false straw hat?
Yeah, if somebody didn't have a tragic backstory, I would have been like, don't put him in the Straw Hats. I'm like, whatever, who cares? We don't know Kara's backstory. I want her.
A bunch of people wanted Vivi. They never knew her backstory. What's Vivi's backstory? Her tragedy is in the present. As far as we know, she was just some spoiled kid.
So it's not a prerequisite to have a tragic backstory because Usopp, his mom died. He's a liar. He's been alone for a while. That's nothing compared to 50 years of loneliness or you can't sleep at all without looking over your shoulder like Robin. It's completely different. So is there a limit to the tragedy? If somebody lost a pinky toe, it's like, oh, well, they lost a pinky toe and that's a bad thing. So does that count for the tragedy?
Zoro's friend and rival died in some just freak accident. But that's not really a tragic past for him. Like, nothing tragically happened. It just spurred him forward.
Yeah, that's about it.
Sanji, he starved. Yes, he had tragedy. He started, and then you go into the whole Cake Island stuff. He had tragedy in his past, but Zoro, not really.
And then Luffy, his friend died, but then he didn't.
Yeah.
So that's the captain.
And on top of that, his original past was this super strong pirate I lost an arm for me. That was his past.
That's it.
And that's Luffy.
Tragic backstory does not equal a prerequisite to the Straw Hats.
Dang, there was something else I was about to say. My second point, I'm going to have to go back a little bit because I literally do not remember what I was about to say.
Even a single time. How is that? Why is Jinbei's arc so very different from the other Straw Hats, even though he fulfills pretty much all of the criteria that constitute a true Straw Hat?
I don't remember.
With the introduction of his character, Oda has deliberately broken the pattern for how a new Straw Hat is supposed to join the crew. As we will see, there are 3 big reasons for this. The purpose of the time skip, the complex political structures of the new world, but most importantly, Jinbei's selfless personality.
Is that not all the Straw Hats? Is that not all?
Usopp came back for the Tontanas. Come on. He's like, I'm dead here, but make me a statue.
Still sticking with Usopp. Usopp left the crew he was selfless in leaving the crew because he knew he was too weak to continue with these guys and he would hold them back. But then he selflessly went into this fray. He just had too much pride to come as Usopp and came as Sogeking.
But he wanted to help.
Everybody is selfless in the Straw Hats for the most part.
Like, don't just attribute this to Jinbei, unless that's just his main personality trait, in which case, brrr, great character, Oda.
Not only does all of this make him a unique member of the crew, but also an incredibly
How's it
intricate
unique?
character that keeps impacting the story in quite significant ways. And
Okay, wait, let's just pull this back just a little bit. Okay. One Piece is my favorite thing of all time.
Same.
I hate Jinbei with a burning passion.
Same.
Let's just say it like that, because we may call Oda a bum or something. It make no
Oda
mistake.
not a bum.
He's not. He is 0% a bum. One Piece is my favorite thing of all time. Jinbei is irredeemably bad.
To me.
if we just take a step back, we will see that Jinbei's character actually embodies a central moral message that Oda tackles within the story. So let's take a closer look at that.
And here we go again with themes, embodiment. it hits the same beat.
Yes, because you have to think of it this way in order for it to be good.
This is the thing. Nobody needs to make a video on any of the other 9 Straw Hats because we see that they're good characters.
You don't need to talk about them in this way in order for them to be good. In order for them for people to be like, now Jinbei is good. Now Nami is good because now we have the themes wrapping around of One Piece into her character.
Also, I remember my original point. Jinbei does not have a really tragic past. The fish people have the tragic past. The killing of the queen, and Fisher Tiger dying because of trying to help humans, spurring on this hatred of humans. His past is no more or less tragic than Arlong's, because it's the same past. So, for now, we technically don't know Jinbei's past. We know the past of the Sun Pirates, and we know the past of the Fish People.
Helmsman of the Straw Hats, and what role he has to play in the story of One Piece.
They never needed a helmsman.
I was just about to say this. One, they got to in Wano without a helmsman. Where was he needed? They got through the New World without a helmsman. When was he needed? Why is he needed now?
That was the most artificial thing where he was just like, yeah, he's always... you could just feel Oda's hands just going, yeah, here he is. Perfect. And I did not like that because you didn't need it. All this time we've been seeing everybody else do it, and no, we've never commented on we needed a helmsman. Now all of a sudden we need one.
I can understand, the Straw Hats don't need a sniper. But they never went, my God, we're completely frozen without this sniper. Nami, who's been steering everything, doesn't know about this this sea phenomenon. It's just like, I'm completely frozen. There's nothing we can do. Until Jinbei turns around with his words of resolve to go, we gotta get through this.
And before we get going, as you know, Jinbei is the last official member of the Straw Hats.
So far.
That would make this video...
As we know,
yes.
Jinbei is the last official. No, because we don't know that, because they could always get another one, unless you're talking about up until this point.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's thinking up until this point, this is the last official member. Because the 10 number was just a number that threw out with Luffy because he wanted to be like Shanks, but he could just be like, oh, I don't want to follow in Shanks. I want to be something different, so I'm going to get another crew member. Or he could just offhandedly is going to throw off my 10, but hey, come on up in here, Carrot.
The very last in this series. But since it seems like you guys are really enjoying watching these and I really love making them, I figured we might keep this up a little longer. So
you didn't need to make the other ones.
Yeah, absolutely not.
We know what they are. They're awesome. They're amazing. We've seen everything they do that's been amazing.
But Jinbei, serious, selfless. What else he got? So you need a video for him.
So why not make this a bit of a challenge for all of us? If this video gets 2,000 likes within the first 24 hours, the next character analysis will be out within a week. A true challenge.
You already have the video made.
Put it out.
Just put it out.
You already said the other videos did quite well, so you're just sort of like...
This is a strategy that's used with a lot of YouTubers where it's just like, I'm gonna hold this video hostage unless you do this thing. And I've always found it gross. This isn't to this dude specifically. I've just always found it a gross practice to just go, I need such and such for you to get such and such. If I had the capacity to put out a video a day or a video a week, I absolutely would. Because I know people enjoy some of the stuff I do. I'm never gonna hold people hostage and go, you need to give me 50 likes to get this thing going. I remember one time I was heavy into streaming for Twitch, and there's, all those people like, hit the follow button, hit the subscribe button. I never said it, and one of my friends in the FGC did it for me. I never called him out on it because I don't need to, because, it was a nice thing he did for me, but I'm never personally going to do those things because I just find it stuff like this gross.
And also, I'm one person. I can only hit the like once. I can tell my friends, hey, like this video or watch this video. But if I go watch this video and like it, it's like, well, I didn't like the video. I don't know Jinbei. So you're just getting artificial likes. And it's not, at that point, you might as well just viewbot because it's just a number.
For you guys, I think. But especially one for me, since I usually take at least twice that time to make a video like this.
The video is done already, dude. Please stop with the
Or
bullshit.
it's at least written. You wouldn't put this unneeded pressure on yourself if it takes twice as long to make a video like this. You would go, oh, let's nah. Because this is the beginning of the video, so you had all that editing time, all that time to just think about it. You got the video already, dude. Come on now.
Also, pause this video for a second, head down to the comment section and type in the character or group that you think I should be doing next.
You already have the video, so it doesn't matter what they say. Again, this is just art. Okay, so I'm fine with him doing stuff like this, or YouTubers doing stuff like that, where it's like, type in a comment below if whatever you think. I'm fine with them going like and subscribe for more content, or check this video out. I think you'll like it. I am not fine with do this so you can get this.
The comment with the most likes gets himself a video. Maybe already next week. So smash that like button. But now let's dive right into the world of our karate-loving fishman.
Does he love karate?
I don't know.
In his backstory, we will not only see that it fulfills the requirements for being a Straw Hat, but also give...
There are no requirements for being a Straw Hat.
Not even being strong because Luffy wanted that dude in the treasure chest. He's asked people who are trees to be part of his crew. He doesn't care.
He didn't know about Brook, and he went, hey, join up, my dude. Get in there. The only person I know that he wanted because he was strong was Zoro. He was like, oh, Zoro sounds strong. Let me go see what he's about. And then once he saw he was a nice dude, he went, okay, fine. Robin was a villain to them. And then she went, I ain't got nowhere to go. Oh, okay, I guess you can stay here. She's a good person, whatevs. To me, the only prerequisite is Luffy thinking you're a good person.
Do they know Frankie's backstory?
No, he never told him. I feel like 60% of the Straw Hats' backstory is not known to the rest of the Straw Hats. Because does anybody really know Luffy's backstory with Sabo dying? Because I think one of the Straw Hats was with him when he screamed Sabo. And then, yeah, I think it was Zoro outside the Coliseum. And he went, who are you talking to, Luffy? So I don't think they know Luffy's. I don't think they know Zoro's. They probably know Sanji's at this point. They definitely know Nami's. Except Luffy. Luffy never, he fell asleep during it.
And unless Chopper told Robin, Frankie, and Brook, they don't know. Because they joined after.
So
there's not a prerequisite. He asked a tree to be his crewmate. There's a prerequisite for us, the audience, but for him, he don't give a
he don't care.
Gives us the first clue to why Jinbei can sometimes feel a bit out of focus and hard to grasp in the story. Being the only non-human in the crew, next to Chopper, who at least ate the human fruit.
Come on, dude. You're trying to shoehorn in Jinbei's uniqueness.
Absolutely. And he had to go other than Chopper. But asterisk, Chopper's not a human. It doesn't matter.
They have a cyborg, a reindeer, and a living skeleton, and you're going, but Jinbei's not human, so him unique.
It doesn't. Who cares?
Who cares? And fishmen are men.
He can talk. He can. It's not like it's a rock that's a crewmate. He's basically a human, but improved.
Jinbei is the first Straw Hat that brings the issue of racial inequality into the crew. As a result,
technically Nami did that because the fish people that took over a village were very racially unequal in their stuff. So that's the first time you see the racial inequality as far as that. No, can't even say that because Chopper was picked on.
I was just about to say that.
So can't say
Once
that.
he showed up as a human, he was picked on by both humans and the reindeer.
So I can't say Jinbei is the first person you see the racial inequality for.
I mean, freaking Robin's whole entire clan was wiped out.
I'm saying this. Jinbei is hated by humans. Chopper is hated by both his race. Jinbei is still welcomed in the fish community. Chopper wasn't.
Lorded as a hero.
Chopper wasn't. They would get that piece of out of here.
Past as a fishman is very different from any of the other Straw Hats.
How?
Jinbei grew up as an orphan on Fishman Island, together with Arlong and Fisher Tiger. From an early age
While he's
on,
an orphan.
he practiced Fishman Karate, a powerful martial art that he managed to master like no other. When he grew older, he joined the Royal Military, but left after a few years, after his friend Fisher Tiger invaded Marie Joie, and he decided to join the Sun Pirates instead.
What's the difference so far?
Who are Zoro's parents? We don't know. So we can infer that he's an orphan. He's been training with swords from a very young age, and then he grew up to become a bounty hunter. What's the difference, literally?
I don't see it yet.
What are you talking about?
Having witnessed all the injustice that the fishmen had to suffer by the hand of the humans, young Jinbei is rather violent and hateful. We can see him brutally beating unconscious Marines, accusing them of tolerating slavery and the discrimination of his people. Slowly, however, that sentiment begins to change as Fisher Tiger passes his vision for peace between the races down to Jinbei. He manages to make him more aware of the endless cycle of hate and revenge between fishmen and humans that has to be broken. A few years later, the Sun Pirates meet the former human slave girl Koala. After taking her in, Jinbei realized how traumatized she was and starts to build a relationship with her.
Love her.
He starts to understand that not all humans are evil, and that fishmen aren't the only ones to suffer under the reign of the world government.
Pause. He had to realize that not all humans... Isn't that racist?
Racist.
He had to be pulled out of his racism?
Okay, if he would have highlighted that's unique in Jinbei and that he had to be pulled out of his racism, that's why he's different from the Straw Hats. He started out as a piece of and it had to be reined in, and it'd be like, wow, there's more out there. Because I don't think any other Straw Hat was really a piece of and then got reined in. But no, he just goes, he was an orphan.
Very unique.
When they finally reach Koala's village, however, they are ambushed by the Marines, and Fisher Tiger is fatally wounded in the process. After this heavy blow, Jinbei becomes the new captain of the Sun Pirates. Despite also having to witness Otohime's death by the hand of the Tenryubito later, Jinbei decides to take on his former captain's dream and try to break the Wheel of Hate. He becomes one of the Shichibukai, joining forces with the world government that he despises so much in order to protect his people. However, when Whitebeard declares war over Ace's execution, Jinbei refuses to answer the government's call. After all, Whitebeard had been protecting Fishman Island under his flag.
It wasn't about Whitebeard, it was about Ace. He cared about Ace. Otherwise, he wouldn't have joined to rescue Ace. He would just go, I'm not going to be in this. Because he knows it's going to bring more wrath down on his people if he doesn't join. Just like, spoilers for anybody that's not current in the One Piece manga, you might as well just skip this video. We're going to be throwing them out like candy. With the abolishment of the Shichibukai right now, you see the Kujo are going to be having problems. The Marines are going to go right after them. So, it's not really a freaking because of Whitebeard. It's more so Ace.
Yeah, that's what it entirely was. Unless he's gonna bring that up,
I would most certainly hope so.
Result, Jinbei is stripped off his rank and thrown into level 6 of Impel Down.
I don't like these sound
He ends
effects.
up in the same cell as Ace. This is where we first get to meet him in the story. So, as you can see, Jinbei clearly fulfills the criterion of having a tragic backstory.
His backstory.
Oh, okay. I guess. Oh, we're just done with that. So, orphan, racist, not racist anymore.
Straw Hat.
Straw Hat. 50 years sailing alone on a ghost ship with the skeletons of the crew that he was sworn to protect.
Orphan.
Straw Hat.
Not only have the fishmen been suffering as a race collectively for many centuries, but Jinbei also had to witness the consequences of racial inequality through the deaths of many people close to him.
And he caused
As
some
we
of
will
it.
see, racism is the great theme of Jinbei's character arc.
These sound effects.
However, before we can look at how Jinbei carries that theme throughout the plot, we first have to understand the kind of person he is in general.
Oh, yeah, this is what I'm waiting for. Wow, that was not a good shot to pause on.
Yeah, racism as a character trait, you gotta... I don't want to be like, oh, Luffy's about to fight Shanks and Jinbei's fighting Ben Beckman. How does this racially impact the story? What's the racial implications behind this fight? I don't know.
Racism should not... The theme of racism should not be your defining character trait. Like, that should be the overall reason you're here, is because of a theme of racism. And again, Nami faced a bunch of racism. She had to forgive Jinbei because he unleashed Arlong onto the world. Like,
and when you think about it, how much fishman racism have we actually even seen outside of the Marines? Kami was just walking around in Shabaodi before she was captured. If she was just like, no, you can't get into this roller coaster.
No. Remember, she was dressed up.
Was she?
Yeah, because people would kidnap.
No, but that's not racism.
No.
That's them wanting her for her uniqueness. But if it was something like you can't get on this roller coaster because you are a fishman, that'd be different.
The
But
only
also,
people I've seen that have been racist towards fishmen besides the Marine are the Celestial Dragons.
so, and they're racist against humans.
And I think most people are afraid of the fishmen in Shabaodi because of how the Marines are prevalent throughout and the underlying pirates stealing them and stuff. They're seen more like an exotic thing as opposed to just, they're disgusting pieces of shit.
So again, we haven't seen much racism against the fishmen.
Now, guys, pay attention.
Pay
In a
attention.
way, you could argue that Jinbei is what Brook might have been to the crew hadn't he been stranded in the Florian Triangle for 50 years of his
What do
life.
you mean?
The Fishman is a veteran pirate that has a very holistic understanding of the
What a
political
terrible
and social
shot.
workings
Dude, what are
of the
you
One
doing?
Piece.
So he put those black bars to crop out logos and stuff, and then
course.
there's this filter effect to try to not get copyrighted.
But
by
that
Toei.
was just a bad shot because half of his face was cut off.
Yeah, I understand.
But anyway, you're going right into he has knowledge of the world, too much knowledge, and it doesn't matter if he is what Brook could have been. I don't care if Brook went around. Brook would be made worse if he went around going this, and this. You know what we got Brook going? Oh yeah, I remember that weird upstart Gold Roger. That was it.
We already have two people with vast knowledge on the crew in Robin and Nami. And now we're just going to bring on this third to further expand the knowledge. And it's not like, you either have to dial them way back to prop up Jinbei, or he's just another mouth that knows. Because if they go to a next island and they go... If Nami would and Robin would have to go, I don't know about this island. And Jinbei go, well, here's the story of this island. We haven't had that yet because Robin and Nami have been saying everything.
And now we're making a problem for Jinbei to solve. And that's so artificial.
That's my fear. I'm so scared of that happening. And the second it happens, I'm just gonna go, this is why I didn't want Jinbei.
Since his tragic past, as well as the responsibility for his people, weigh heavily on his shoulders, Jinbei usually presents himself.
It weighs heavily on his shoulders? What about Shirahoshi, who saw her mom die, knew who killed her, and still just sat next to that mother for 20 some odd years?
No, that doesn't matter. He has the weight of his people on his shoulders.
She bared that burden throughout nearly her entire life.
No, but Jinbei's sad.
But Jinbei said.
Again, this is just like Ocean is. You're completely ignoring other people in order to go, Jinbei, this happened to Jinbei and Jinbei only. Look only at Jinbei.
Serious and proud warrior. However, if the
Zoro?
circumstances allow for it, he shows us his light-hearted and gentle side.
Zoro?
What? Where? What? Was that all you had?
There was that time. There was him laughing at the Straw Hats when Sanji was like, I don't need your help or something. And he said, aha, you guys are funny. And I think he laughed with Luffy at Fishman Island at some point.
So again, we're going back to Roman Reigns. We're counting moves at this point. I don't see him making snowmen with the Straw Hats.
I don't see him running around chasing Luffy and Usopp after their current hijinks like a Zoro or a Sanji or any other Straw Hat would. Where does he fit in the hierarchy of the way the Straw Hats play with and off each other?
Going back to 2 openings ago, when they were having their water gun fight. What? Could you see him doing that?
Yes, by using the ocean. He does too much. 'Cause him don't get it.
You just show one image of it, lighthearted nature, and then that was it. That same image you done showed like 3 times of him just laughing. What? Nothing else.
Side comes a lot closer to what Jinbei's true self would really be if you took away all the hardship in his life.
Pause. So you gotta take away his entire backstory, as you said, in order for him to be lighthearted.
His entire reason for being and his uniqueness, as you said, for him to be the character he should be.
Chopper had a tragic backstory, and he is very lighthearted. But you're going to take away the thing that would make him a Straw Hat in order for him to be lighthearted. According to you.
Robin had an awful backstory, and she's crying over awful art dying.
Amazing.
Look at Brook with his 50 years of selling into the sea with the bones of his dead crew, and he's just like, whoop, la 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 la.
Why are we counting? Why are we going, he's laughing, so he has a lighthearted nature? Are you saying that 100% of the people in the world don't laugh? Why are you going, this is his personality? He's laughing.
Also,
everyone laughs.
Also, lighthearted is not necessarily a good trait when you look at somebody like Kizaru, who is very lighthearted, but he is a tremendous piece of So just slapping lighthearted on something don't mean nothing.
So, if you ever wondered why Jinbei needs the Straw Hats in the first place, this is why.
Pause.
Jinbei
He doesn't need the Straw Hats. He's almost 50 or over 50? Are you telling me that in the twilight of his life, I don't know how long Fishman lived, but now he needs the Straw Hats?
I think
you telling me he hasn't laughed before he met Luffy?
Yeah, with his whole the whole guard that he leaves, they were all just joking with each other and having fun and elbowing each other.
Are you telling me that his crew are 100% serious? Nobody's laughing, nobody's joking? And he needs the Straw Hats in order to get that part of him out of himself? Come on! That's not a character!
Yeah, that's awful.
enjoy life again and can allow himself to drop his shell when being with the crew.
He dropped the shit with his crew. I mean, with his crew because he was laughing and having fun with them. Are you telling me that all that time he sailed with them and protected the Fishman Island and all that stuff, it was just terrible where he's just stoically and not having fun?
Didn't he show a picture of Koala and him laughing with ice cream? Wait.
Look at this shot you keep showing, this spread. You see how everybody else is laughing except Zoro because he's trying to get more liquor? And then look at Jinbei.
Very stoic.
Stoic.
And your eyes go instantly right to him going, what's his problem? Why isn't he laughing and having fun? What's the problem?
However, he also brings
Just looking at the camera, no fun.
Man, salty. He's not having a drink. He's not looking at anybody. Nothing.
He's in the background with his arms folded going, "Rrr."
Now, mash Carrot in there. Put her anywhere.
a lot to Luffy and the others in return. First,
No, he brings strength to them.
Strength and knowledge.
We got knowledge.
True that.
He brings strength to them.
First and foremost, having been part of the Shichibukai for 11 years, Jinbei is not only a valuable source of knowledge and experience, but also brings significant fighting power to the crew.
Boy, did we not just say exactly that?
So far we've got tragic backstory. He needs to get more lighthearted and him big strong. Wow.
Nope. And him also big smart.
I don't care. Brook brings almost nothing to the crew. Luffy just said, I want a musician.
And I love Brook.
He's not particularly strong. He's not particularly smart. He's if anything, he's a burden because he's a weird piece of
That stands out at all times.
But he's welcome. You gotta try to justify this. We saw Brookie, he's farting at the dinner table and burping and yelling for food. Like, I want that dude in the crew because he seems fun. I don't want them to go to Elbaf and just go, all right, here's my encyclopedic knowledge of Elbaf. Here we go. And they're walking around going, here's this, and this. I don't want that. You got Jack, King, Queen, and Kaido. I don't want them to just go, okay, Luffy, Zoro, Sanji, and Jinbei. I don't want that. I would rather have them go, Queen, okay, we got Brook, we got Frankie, we got a Chopper. Let's see how they fight against Queen. Since they're all not strong enough one-on-one. I don't want that. I don't care about big strong. You don't have to.
You don't have to be strong. And also, dang, what was I about to say? Well, first, you just don't need to be strong. And this is what I was about to say. I don't even need for the next character to be fun. I just need them to be something. Robin is not fun. I love Robin.
But you can see her place in the crew. That first time when she's like, I want to join the crew. That was all magic. But here, it's just like, again, I don't need big, strong people. If Vidal had fought somebody of equal strength in the tournament, I'd be like, this is a good fight. Not because they're both big, strong, but because they're equal. Or if the other person was slightly stronger.
And she had to think a way around it.
Yes, I don't need two. I don't really care about two strong people clashing. Because again, two weak people of equal strength clashing is the exact same thing.
Besides Hody, since the time skip, has Luffy fought the big bad by himself?
I don't. Does Mingo count?
No, because one, Law had already been fighting Mingo, and then they had to hold off the cage and let Luffy recover. So there was a bunch of people against Mingo. So I don't need Jinbei having a one-on-one fight with some dude.
Especially since his fighting style is quite boring. Cause again, at any point in time he could just go ocean water into mouth, your devil fruit is nullified. Cause he did that. Okay. And then here's this fist that can punch 1,000 soldiers instantly. Great. So now you gotta create villains strong enough for him to fight, and only for him to fight, because at this point he's number 2 in the crew, not number 2, number 3. I think Zoro's a little bit stronger. Mm-hmm. So instead of going, ooh, Sanji's gonna fight him, no, because he could easily just go, all right, Kizaru, I'm fighting you now. When all this time we're just like, Kizaru Sanji. Even though Sanji, there's no reason why Sanji wouldn't get destroyed, even though that suit, oh boy, you can make an argument now. But let's say Sanji, Kizaru fight. Sanji loses. Now it's just like, all right, Jinbei, slide on up in there. Because you're the only other karate man.
I want Sanji, Kizaru so bad.
Oh boy.
And I don't know what Green Bull does, but that's probably who's going to fight Jinbei. That's probably who Jinbei is going to fight.
And see, so at that point you're just going, at all this time we're going, okay, we got the big 3. They were always the big 3. So whenever there were 3 villains that showed up who were of great power, you go, oh, it's them 3. Done. Now you're just adding another one. So now all crews are going to have 4 super strong people and then a bunch of bums.
But that's a lot of people's argument that you look at the 4 calamities, the 4 people that Big Mom had, like there's 4 for everybody, or there's 3 under the main person. My bad, the 3 under the main person. So every crew has the 4, the main guy, which would be Luffy, and then his 3 calamities.
Mm-hmm. But it didn't need to be like that. This was just made.
See, this is what I hate about it. Since the time skip, they've been framing Luffy as everybody else. Luffy acts like Roger did. Luffy's gonna get the same calamities that Kaido and them have. Luffy should be his own person.
Mm-hmm.
This is complemented by the fact that he has mastered Fishman Karate, possibly making him one of the strongest fighters underwater.
Pause. He's mastered something. Who else in the crew can say that they mastered something?
Zoro is the 2nd strongest, and he's still working. Luffy is literally working on one of the forms of haki right now. He just evolved one of his hakis the last arc. Everybody is still learning.
When Zoro chopped Pika, he was like, Mihawk could have done this better. So he's already like... So, and this dude, he's mastered Fishman Karate. Who else do we know that's better? How does he grow? Who does he learn from? He's the best at Fishman Karate, assumedly. Where does he go? Making him one of the strongest fighters underwater. Okay. So now, every time there's a fight, it's just like, oh, Jinbei's getting destroyed. Now he just goes underwater and he beats. He wins, because we've seen him overturn ships underwater easily. That's not interesting.
It's not.
He's a master of something.
That's why I want Carrot, because she's so raw. There's still so much room for her to grow.
Chopper has 3 minutes in his strongest form, and then he's laid out.
And Chopper grew. There was more to show of Chopper. There's more to show for these people. Jinbei is already a master of it.
Apart from battle though, Jinbei also takes the role of the helmsman. While the crew somehow managed so far without...
Pause. So his whole thing was him big strong. Look at him big strong. Oh, he's also a helmsman. You didn't have to say that he's strong. We know that he's strong. And that doesn't, again, not a prerequisite for the Straw Hats. And who cares? Brook ain't strong. Dude. You don't need to convince me that somebody needs to be strong to join the Straw Hats.
I am really disliking the way he just kind of threw shade at Nami by going, they've somehow managed this. It's because of her greatness that they've managed it. Because the crew is a bunch of slapdash crew people. So anybody could take the helm and Nami goes, turn hard to the right. and they turn hard to the right, and it worked out because she's just that good.
And also, Frankie made an amazing ship.
But now we need this guy to steer the ship. When has this been shown? Oh, in that one moment that Nami froze up for X reason? Now, I can understand if she went, I froze up because Big Mom was barreling down on us in in wave of water. But she goes, I don't know about this phenomenon. Nami! So now it's going to be a bunch of situations. In order for you guys to go, yeah, this is why we need Jinbei as the helmsman, there's got to be a situation that presents itself to where Nami goes, I don't know what's going on. Don't worry, I'll handle this, Nami. Just like that Big Mom thing.
And you're just bringing her down. Who is the red-haired pirates helmsman? Who's Big Mom's? She was shown sailing to Wano. Is it just that if people are knowledgeable enough, they can get through without one? Because again, who cares?
About one, Whole Cake Island really showed us how valuable it can be to have this position filled with someone who knows what they're doing.
That's what I'm saying. Nami should have been able to navigate through that.
Or she should have tried. She froze up. Everybody froze up. It was just like, well, this is death.
When they first got to the New World, there were 70 wind, tornado, water things, typhoons barreling down on them, and they navigated through it all. The weather changed like 8 times, and she navigated them through all of that without a scratch to the ship.
Back on the red line, they went, how do we get up that mountain? And they did. Back to Skypiea. How do we get up to the sky? And they did. No problem. Problem, yeah. But they went, how do we do this? Let's try something. As opposed to let's literally do nothing and wait for someone to save us. That's taken away 20 plus years of Nami being amazing. Just to go look at Jinbei doing this thing.
To justify his existence on the crew.
Though, being a fisherman, Jinbei is also able to control the sea currents and even talk to the creatures of the ocean. All of these skills make him a true upgrade to the Sunny that will
and it's gonna make all that sailing less worthwhile. Because they're not struggling for it anymore. Who cares if they get a sudden whirlpool in this tumultuous ocean? Jinbei just reverses it and they sail through easily. It becomes less fun watching them sail because they're gonna sail through clear seas the rest of the way.
Oh, where do we go? Jinbei, go down there and talk to a shark. Oh, he says go right. Uh-oh, here comes a bunch of marine ships. Instead of going, oh, coup de burst or try to fight them off until we can load that up, Jinbei, just create a whirlpool and get rid of them. That's his purpose. Then you got a reindeer doctor who's just like, I want to heal people, who's also stupid. But you're going, he can do this, he's strong, he's knowledgeable. Dude that makes a ship.
We have to face more and more dangerous situations like these in the future. From an internal perspective, Jinbei's psychological need has been constantly shifting over the course of the story, which speaks for really well writing from Oda's side. It keeps the story vivid and gives us continuous character development.
What do you mean by that? I was waiting for you to explain.
Yeah.
I'm hoping after I restart this, he does explain it. But he's just going, it's been this shifting thing, and it's great from Oda, and it leads to all this character development. I really hope you explain what
He's
you mean.
already developed. He wasn't a racist anymore when he met Koala.
Yeah, there's no more room for him to grow unless he either evolves or devolves to what you think his actual form is in that kind of more jovial dude.
In general, Jinbei's need is always focused around his initial hatred towards the humans for what they did to his people. He needs to find a way to break the wheel of hatred inside himself before he can start breaking the wheel in general.
Already did.
Especially
what at this point, what forms of racism has he showed? He's done with that. You already said initial racism. That's done. His character arc is done.
This is what I want to know. This is what I always say about Jinbei. If his dream, as people assume it is, but it's not his dream because he's never spoken about this, it's just a desire of his. If his dream is to bring together fishmen and humans relations better, he's not going to accomplish that by being on the Pirate King ship. He's going to do that by being a diplomat of the Fishman people. He was better being in Fishman Island and traveling the world and speaking at conferences and stuff than going, I'm gonna make Luffy the Pirate King for my people.
Because then if you do have Green Bull versus Jinbei, it's just like, you got a newspaper headline of Fishman kills Marine Admiral. And you go, uh-oh. You think people are gonna trust you for that? And then you just got freaking King Neptune going, hey, fishmen aren't doing too well down there. Y'all want to help? Maybe that's the way to do it.
Hey, you see how when King Neptune went to that summit for the first time and everybody was cool after the fact? Do more of that. As opposed to, I'm gonna make Luffy the Pirate King. That's my dream.
And then all of these diplomatically ran nations will respect fishmen somehow. Because Luffy will decree it?